OpenAI's Chat GPT-4 has made its debut, and honestly, it's getting pretty cool, but also pretty intimidating. So I asked it to make me an app. What's up, it's Clark Holden, and I'm sure by now everybody is familiar with Chat GPT-3. If you don't know what Chat GPT-3 is, I talked about it a bit in my last video where I shared some AI tools that I use as a computer science student to increase my productivity. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check it out. Chat GPT-4 represents the next evolution in AI chatbots. Two primary aspects that have especially grabbed my attention are the image recognition and improved code generation. As a programmer, the enhanced code generation is a massive breakthrough. It boasts better accuracy and a wider range of language support, making it easier to translate code into different programming languages and generate functional code more reliably. This advancement is great because it allows me to translate code into other more complex languages and to produce more functional code. The other significant development is image recognition. Although it's not publicly accessible yet, I think this feature has the potential to be truly groundbreaking. Essentially, this new capability allows ChatGPT-4 to take text and images as input. Users can present a picture and ask the AI to carry out various tasks related to that image. For example, you could ask about the contents of the image, or you can even generate a web page based on the image. Given the recent advancements in ChatGPT, I thought it'd be a great idea to try to code an entire project without writing any code. In the past, it wasn't unusual for code generated by ChatGPT to be faulty and unusable, often requiring more time debugging than it would take to write it by yourself. However, this time around, I'm pretty sure that won't be the case. Now, I needed a suitable app idea. Luckily, I had the perfect inspiration. I was at my brother's game the other day, and I wanted to keep track of his stats. I went onto the App Store to download a couple different apps, and none of them really worked the way I wanted to. I wasn't able to track his individual stats, and the user experience was just overall very poor. So now I'm gonna make my own app. Initially, it's just gonna be a functional app, but along the lines, maybe I can turn this into a series where I build it out to be a production-ready app. So stay tuned for that. Now, let's get prompting. Okay, now we're gonna get started. Okay, so now we're gonna come on over into ChatGPT and switch to GPT-4. ChatGPT-4 is a paid subscription and it costs $20 a month, and that's what I'll be using in this video. Okay, so now I'm gonna get started with prompting. First, I'm gonna ask it how to create a React app. Of course, I gotta turn this into a TypeScript project though. Gosh, this prompting is gonna take forever. Okay, so now that ChatGPT has told me how to create an app, I'm gonna head over to Visual Studio Code and get it started. So we're gonna copy this code. We're going to open a new terminal and paste it in. So ChatGPT made a little error here where it forgot the npx before the command. So I'm just gonna type that in and then paste the code, and now it should work. Okay, so now we have the project set up. So now I'm gonna spin up the server and take a look. And there we go, we have our project set up. Now the next step is to ask ChatGPT to help create the UI for the app. Okay, so I gave the AI a pretty complex prompt, so let's see if it can get it right. So far, the code looks pretty good, but we gotta put it in the project. So at this time, ChatGPT obviously isn't able to generate the project completely by itself, so you'll still need a little bit of programming knowledge to get this done, but who's to say you can't just ask ChatGPT how to do it yourself? So I'm gonna create a components folder. I'm gonna call this component stats keeper. And now I'm gonna paste the code in. Now it looks like we have a couple errors, and it seems like ChatGPT forgot that we're using TypeScript. So I'm gonna ask it if it can get those fixed. Okay, let's see if it got the new code right. And it works. ChatGPT is getting a lot better at this. I'm gonna have to switch my major. Now let's take a look and see what we have in the browser. There we go, we can see the first version of this app completed all by ChatGPT. Now let's check if it works. Oh. It works. Okay, now I need some way to actually save the stats so I can see them later. And I don't really have an idea of how I should do this, so I'm gonna ask ChatGPT for an idea. So ChatGPT is suggesting that I use local storage, which is actually a great idea. So that means I can save them on my computer and I won't need a database. I think my favorite thing with ChatGPT-4 is not the code generation or the image recognition that will be coming. I think it's the longer response sizes. It makes it so that it can fit so much more information into a single response. Okay, now let me paste this code in. Now let's see if it actually saves the data. Okay, I'm gonna refresh. And the data is still there. You can even try closing the tab and opening a new one, and the data is still there. Now this is great, but it doesn't really make sense if I want to save data from multiple games. So I'm gonna ask Chat GPT if it can create a way to save the data by a date and a title. I'm gonna create the new component. Now I'm gonna paste in the code. And with that code, it looks like we have some errors. So a couple of these errors are related to type safety, and some of them I just don't get. I'm just gonna tell Chat GPT to check if it left any errors in there. And with the new code, it looks like we have something working. I'm gonna try to save one of these games. I'm gonna call this 60-point game. Click save game. And there we go. We have it added to the list. And this was all written by Chat GPT. I think it's pretty fascinating. So now let me try to delete this. And just like that, it's gone as well. Now at this point, I think this is a pretty functioning app, but it's ugly, like very ugly. So what I'm gonna do is just describe how I want the app to look, and I'll see if Chat GPT can do that for me. And now we have a pretty good looking app. Now, obviously it doesn't look the best, but we have to remember it was created by Chat GPT. So if the look of the app actually mattered, I could be more descriptive with the prompt, or I could even just go in and design it myself. Here's the final working app. I'm able to add points, I'm able to add assists, I'm able to add rebounds, and I can save it as well. So I'm gonna call this first place game, save, and there we go, we have it saved. This experience has been really cool. It's kind of interesting to think about how the world's gonna be in a couple years, especially when it comes to the job sector. We're seeing artificial intelligence in its infancy, and it's gonna improve exponentially. If ChatGPT can make an app like this in less than an hour, imagine what it'll be able to make in a couple years. But it's not all bad, because as computer scientists, we are actually the ones that are going to be making the AI. I think that there's gonna be two different types of people. There's gonna be people that are making the AI, and then there's gonna be people that are using the AI. As a computer scientist now, I think you have to get good at either or. You either have to be developing the AI to have job security, because there's still a lot of room for AI to improve, and there needs to be people driving that improvement. And on the other side of it, there needs to be people that are good at using AI to complete tasks. As you can see, when you're prompting the AI, it can get pretty descriptive. In addition to that, you also need to understand how things work right now. Obviously, somebody with no knowledge of coding probably wouldn't have been able to do what I did today. In the future, I'm sure that there's going to be tools that are going to be able to create projects from scratch, and you won't need any input at all. With that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.